Well, good afternoon and welcome back. Our panel, Innovations in Safety and Security. I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Mahesh Kumar Agarwal, Additional Director General of Police, Tamil Nadu. He is a highly decorated officer who played a critical role in handling COVID pandemic in the state. He was instrumental in helping over 4 lakh migrant laborers who were safely transferred in special trains to their respective states. He served as director of the Crime Branch Special Investigation Division, which was created to look into the string of communal crimes. We have with us Mr. Chanchal Shekhar, Additional Director General of Police, State Crime Records Bureau, Madhya Pradesh. He's worked as Superintendent of Police at a number of districts. He's also handled key positions such as DIG in SSB in New Delhi and Srinagar. He served as IG Rewa before assuming the current office. He's the recipient of Police Medal for Gallantry in 2009 for his efforts in curbing terror and capturing terrorists. He was also the State Nodal Officer for implementation of MPCCTNS. In place of Dr. Sankhabrata Bagchi, Additional Director General of Police, Andhra Pradesh, we are joined by Mr. CVA Ramakrishna, who is Additional Commandant, APSP Battalion, Mangalagiri, Andhra Pradesh. Dr. Pallika Arora, Additional Inspector General of Police, Model Jail from Chandigarh. She has held several key positions, including Director of Education, School and Higher Education in Chandigarh Administration and SDM Patiala. She also served as the Assistant Commissioner at Mohali and Moga. After joining the Prisons Department, she has developed a number of innovative programs and activities for the welfare and rehabilitation of convicts at Model Jail in Chandigarh. We have Dr. J. Longanathan, Inspector General of Police, Additional Commissioner of Police from Headquarters, Greater Chennai, representing Mr. Shankar Jiwal, Commissioner of Police, Greater Chennai from Tamil Nadu. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again, to talk about the discussion framework of the panel. We understand that policing is a state subject, which means that there are significant variations across states. While some states like UP, Bihar, and Andhra are understaffed, there are others, like a few in the Northeast and probably Punjab, that meet these stipulated standards. India today requires nearly 3 million men in uniform. Currently, the figure is about 2. There are challenges. There are challenges in recruitment, there are challenges in training, modernization, challenges in reform, so on and so forth. Yet we are progressing. A recent report that was published, listed out 13 key challenges responsible for slowing down police reforms. So we would like to discuss how to overcome such challenges so that the process is speeded up. There's need to safeguard not only the financial stability and integrity of the nation, but also the wider financial system and intellectual property. Huge amount of investments have gone in India's homeland security efforts at various levels. And there is much more which is in the offing. These modernization programs at the central level include modernization of the police force, smart cities mission, talk about CCTNS, interoperable criminal justice system, infection detection system, social media detection system. Now the cyber has added a wholesome new dimension to it. And we need to talk about cyber protection because that's become part of our lives and day-to-day living. So state governments have deployed technology projects in police forces at various levels, and they have really scaled. But there is yet a road that needs to be traveled. So the panel, we will divide it over 2-3 questions. I will raise the first question, invite each panelist, maybe make a 2 to 3 minutes a statement. We go over each and every one and then consolidate it and then move on to the next one. So my first question goes to Mr. Agarwal. The police reforms in India started with the formation of National Police Commission late 1970s. Ever since, a number of committees have been constituted, formed, notable being Ribeiro Committee made huge amount of recommendations to start with. Malamuth Committee, took it to the next level. And more recently, we have Justice Thomas Committee recommending a number of measures. When so much of momentum has been built up, so much of investments have taken place, technology has been infused, what has hindered the progress? Why aren't we on track, and what is it that needs to be done? Mr. Agarwal.
Good afternoon, everyone. As far as police reforms are concerned, I would like to say that we can divide them into two categories. One is internal reforms and another is external reforms. Internal reforms are the reforms which are actually within the competence of the police organization, like attitude of the policeman. The biggest problem, biggest complaint which we face is non-registration of cases, high-handed attitude of the police department, police personnel. These are the things which can be addressed very well by the state police organizations. And Tamil Nadu Police is taking a lot of steps in this regard. And a lot of training programs have been conducted, especially on the behavioral aspects of policing. As far as external reforms are concerned, definitely there are issues related to political interference and bias in handling different type of issues, especially when the oppressed classes are involved. So basically on these issues, as you rightly said, finances can be one issue, then recruitment, training, these are the other issues. I think we need to have some common norms. Though the policing is state subject, but perhaps formation of some common minimum acceptable standards will helpful. In this regard, Government of India has already started modernization of police force scheme, whereby funds are given by the central government also. So I think we are in the right direction, but still we have to travel a lot so that the common person, the common people in the society, they feel that police is for them, to serve them, and we can achieve safety for each and everyone in India. Thank you.
May I now invite Dr. Palika Arora?
Hello, Ji sir, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, please. Sorry, I was traveling, so just a little bit confusion there. Yes, please.
So in fact, my question was that, the police reforms in India started way back in the 1970s with the formation of the National Police Commission. Then subsequently, the committees that were formed, Ribeiro, Malamuth, and recently the Thomas Committee recommended a slew of measures, take these reforms further. Wherever we stand today, what is it that has hindered the progress? Even after 30 years, we are still discussing the same thing. And how it can be speeded up.
Yeah, I feel that as far as the police services are concerned, the major the hurdle is the shortage of the staff, which is there. So the mainly recruitment issues are what needs to be dealt on the because that mainly the police force at the lower level. If we talk about the constables and other lower staff, they are. I feel that the shortage of the staff can really be seen at those levels. So until and unless the police staff is strengthened, nothing more can be expected. And along with that, the training needs to be, I think, it needs to be periodic. Mostly it happens that once the officers, they pass out from the training institutes, over a period of time in the service, the things, they just, fade away. So I feel that the training should be very regular part, and we can say that some test or some other parameters, they may be settled, that those who are not performing after a certain years of service, they can be parted away. And other than that, the attitude is very important. The emotional intelligence plays a very important role for policing, I feel. So the proper training of the staff on these parameters is very much required, so that the manpower, they are able to handle the issues at ground in more empathetic and more sympathetic manners. I feel. So a lot of improvement has happened over a period of years. We can see that the policing is more, you can say, people friendly these days. So I hope that coming years also much more improvements can be seen.
I agree with you. Most of the problems that you mentioned and possible solutions to this, probably, that is the way moving forward. But, one observation that while you are handling a jail, right,
Yes,
and by way of bringing in certain measures, introducing some new practices, not out of the box, but whatever has been defined within the parameters of the system, but innovatively implementing it, become
yes,
a model jail. Uh,
yes,
Possibly all the jails across the country would be model jails because you're not doing anything out of the system, right? So you're just implementing it. So why is it that you could do it? What is the advantages did you have? How is it that you got support from the system, which probably would be lacking at other places? I mean, I visited a jail in Bada. It looked like it did not look like a jail.
Mhm.
Another jail in Haryana, it looked worse than a jail of the 1960s or the 70s. You won't even feel like entering. And several other jails, they are in different state. But when we say, initially in my comments itself, I started with that. Since it's a state subject, there are variations in implementation. There are variations in the. So, what's your take on this?
what we are doing at the model jail Budel is we have started the various reformative projects for the inmates. Because when I joined, I saw that especially for the females, since a female superintendent was not there from the last, I think, maybe 10 or more years. So they were, we can see that feeling a little bit aloof, since the majority of the staff of the jail or the prisons, they are dominated by the male staff. So I thought that something reformative should definitely be done for them. And yes, you are very true that I'm not doing something which is out of the box. It is just the implementation. The implementation was possible out of the support of my seniors, my staff, and a desire that for whatever time they are there in the jail, they should be able to do something productive out of it. They should be able to make the best use of that time. And since the ratio of the under trials is anyways higher in the prisons, so they are not going to be here for the for a long period. So many of them, they keep on getting the bail. So I think that whenever they go out from the if they are bailed out, then they should have some skill in their hand, because the major issue is that even if you are not guilty, but if you have spent some time in the jail as under trial itself, then it definitely adds a social taboo to you. So the rehabilitation part is very important. So maybe possible that they are not able to get the jobs, especially if they are convicted and after finishing of their sentence, if they are going back to the society, anyways they are not going to get the government jobs. So in that case, their skill, it becomes very important. They should be able to earn their livelihood. So for that purpose, we are training them for the various so that they're able to earn a livelihood for themselves. We are especially our decor section, our art and craft section is really liked by most of them, because art is something which I feel that they're able to express their feelings in the form of art, and it gives a positive direction to their energy. So whatever the negativity is there in their minds and their soul, so we are able to channelize it through art in a positive way. Similarly, for the ladies, we have undertaking the knitting section, or there is a bag making section is there. We are also going to start bakery very soon, within like next 20 days. So all these projects, the idea behind is just to make them busy, to keep them busy, so as to keep them engaged. They should feel that they're able to, spend time till 5
I
p.m.
understand.
working.
What you're doing is you're doing their capacity building. You are giving them some skills so that
Yes.
once they are out, they can lead a life of
Moreover, we are also giving them wages, so they are
Yeah,
able to support
obviously,
their
when they're in
family.
the jail, they're working and they're also earning. So when they
Yes.
go out, they should be able, they should be in a position to lead a life of dignity. So and it doesn't become a social stigma on them. I
Yes.
understand. But when you take it on a larger scale, the organization wide, I think
Yes.
training, retraining, skilling, reskilling of even police personnel becomes even more important.
Yes.
So what Mr. Agarwal was talking about. So I'll come back to you asking for more. In the meanwhile, let me move over now with the reforms question to Mr. Chanchal Shekhar. Over to you, sir.
Sir, good afternoon. So the police reforms in India, no doubt what you mentioned that 3-4 committees have put forth their voluminous reports, but not much have been achieved on this. And for that matter, most of these Malimat committee report or Dharamvira committee report, they have most of the part has become non-relevant as on date. But I'm very happy to inform you that we are mostly being guided by this Prakash Singh judgment versus Union of India, and most of the security of tenure at higher places, they are being governed. Complaints committee, transfer committee, these all are being practiced actually in place. So the recommendation of these committees is a state subject. They will contain everything what my colleague Mr. Agarwal mentioned, that internal and external factors. I would like to just underline one particular thing, is that the aspirations of the common man have increased many-fold in the current. I think I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. The aspirations of the common man have increased many folds in the present times. They compare you with the private service provider like the Google, Amazon, and so on and so forth, and also the police and the other departments. So if we don't come up to the expectation of people, we will become irrelevant. I'm very happy to inform you that the government at various levels, the central government, the state government have started bridging the gap. So far, the technological gap which existed between the people and the police, the central government has come with a lot of initiatives. ICJS, you mentioned, is one of them. Most of the requirements of the court pillar are being covered in ICJS. Quick flow of informations. Apart from this, there ITSO, CrimeAct, these are portals for tracking of sexual offenders and quick challans. And though the central government is doing its part, the state government is also funding the police organization in a big way. Even if the central government have stopped the modernization scheme, the state governments are funding. There is no dearth of fund, which was earlier a major challenge before the state government. And so that is one. But at the same time, we need to see that these funding, these focus on police, these upgradation of our technological platforms is not just one-time program. They need to be continuously addressed. They need to go on continuously. They need to be upgraded. The times are changing very fast, and they need to be continuously upgraded. Our focus in the present time should remain number one, cybercrime; number two, women's safety; and number three, welfare of the police. It might belong to one or the other stakeholders. I'm not going in the detail what is to be done by whom, but this should be the central focus of the police. Police is on that line, working on that line to a great extent. And I think we need to continuously upgrade our skills and service delivery to the people on these lines. Thank you.
Yeah, a good point made there when you said that, you have to adapt to the changing circumstances. And, definitely so that the police force itself needs to be taken care of. Because if you yourself, quote unquote, in a completely healthy condition, you will not be able to take care of the rest, which, emerging threats more to do with the women's safety and the cyber. Yes, a road that we have traveled, it has given us a lot of comfort and hope that we are moving in that direction. But yes, there are hurdles in between, and the more initiatives that need to take place, and every day there are innovations that need to be set in. So we have technologies coming in. So enablement of police force vis-a-vis the technologies, the average age of a constable or in the police force, it is quite high right now. That has to come down. So recruitment has to take place, the retraining. So a lot of things which get, attached to that. But yes, the point well made. So I'll come back to you asking for more. Thank you for your comments. May I now invite Mr. Chanchal, you already have spoken, Mr. CVA Ramakrishna, who is additional commandant representing Dr. Bakshi from Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Ramakrishna, please. Do we have Mr. Ramakrishna with us? So while he comes back online, move over to invite Dr. J. Loganathan, who is Inspector General of Police from Greater Chennai. Dr. Loganathan?
Yes. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, as you said, the police reforms, many committees' recommendations really change some aspects of policing. As we all see, police is the first respondent for any kind of situations. So they become overburdened with this work, and also there is a shortage of manpower. These two aspects are being taken care of by the regular recruitment through the state government, and also the changing nature of the crime. So earlier the crime pattern was different. Now the new technologies are coming. The different nature is getting changed. So we have to go with the improved technology, like as we discussed, the cyber crimes getting reported more. So the police force should be in a position to go with this kind of improved technology, and also they should be more equipped. It requires the periodical training and updation of all those technology. And also, moreover, there is a change in the attitude of the police also when compared to earlier times. Now, definitely there is a change in attitude of police, and they work more with the public and addressing the grievances of the public or the petition query, whatever it is, like registration of cases. And also there is an improvement of professional skills in investigation of cases. As earlier speakers have told, there is a continuous process is required. It's a dynamic process that police should respond to the changing environment, and it is being done, and it should go on. Thank you.
Yeah. In fact, we all agree that there has been a remarkable change. The technology infusion has happened, and a lot more has been achieved. But yes, at the same time, we need to do a bit more. So one of the key elements in the police modernization and reforms program in India is beefing up homeland security.
Yes.
Also a fact that, currently we share about, as a country, 4% of global homeland expenditure. Need to increase it to a minimum 6 to 7% to handle emerging security risks, and that also includes cyber. So how will it happen given the current state of funds, which is shortage? So if I may ask Mr. Agarwal.
I think now we should go for public participation. We know that Government of India has mandated the corporates to have CSR funds. So more and more corporates should come forward to contribute their CSR funds towards the home security needs, so that like especially the bigger cities, mega cities like Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, where big corporates are available, and the needs of policing, like in Chennai city, we had taken an initiative few years back, and about 3 lakh CCTV cameras have been set up in Chennai city. Almost every 100 meters we have a camera, CCTV camera, and most of these cameras have been set up with the help of public participation, public sponsorship. So I think we need to go for more and more such initiatives where the corporates, the public, they come forward and contribute towards this. Thank you.
So I believe Dr. Loganathan has joined in.
Yes.
Yeah. So my first question on the reforms, despite all the efforts, we are still lacking. So what is hindering the progress, and what is it that needs to be done to speed it up? Dr. Loganathan.
I think there is some small confusion.
Yeah, just now.
Dr. Loganathan was already with us. Mr. Ramakrishnan
yeah, yes, sir.
was not there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I missed it. I
Thank
mixed
you,
it.
yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Mr. Ramakrishna, CVA Ramakrishna from Andhra Pradesh. I think again dropped out. Okay, no problem. So with my second question on the funding part towards homeland security, as Mr. Agarwal mentioned that we should harness the CSR funds. So let's hear what Mr. Shekhar has to say on this.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, some other officer is on the screen.
Yeah, that's Mr. CVA Ramakrishna. So I'll come back to him. So you may go ahead, Mr. Shekhar.
Sir, as I mentioned earlier, that homeland security has a lot of components at the level of the central government and at the level of the state government. And they require a lot of equipments, a lot of applications, computer planning and software development and all that. And the government of India is doing its bit in a big way. I must appraise you about a project called NAFIS, National Automated Fingerprint Information System. It has brought the entire fingerprint data of India. Say it is in around more than 1 crore, although of those persons only who have been earlier arrested or convicted. Not of a general public. We don't have access to the Aadhaar database. So now earlier at any scene of crime, when we used to receive any chance print, maybe ATM breaking, burglary or dacoity, or maybe even body crime like murder or rape. So we were clueless. We used to search physically from the records on the basis of some logarithm prepared number were given to discrete fingerprints, and they were searched on that bed, like you search books in the library. Mm-hmm. Now the entire thing is searched in computer database, and I want to inform you that within 3 months of going online of this NAFIS system, Madhya Pradesh has traced more than 100 cases on the NAFIS system. Not only within the state, 24 cases are from within the state, persons who reside in Madhya Pradesh, and around more than 76, 77 cases are from the other state, which was almost impossible to do a few months back. Now we can catch the ATM breaker across the state, 2 borders, 3 states like that. So, sir, the funds are not a problem. I am looking after procurement of computers, applications, software in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and I see personally that the funds are not a problem. Once I am able to convince the government that this is good and this is our requirement, the government is willing to give. And still, I must tell you that most of these equipment funds, which call it capital, what you call equipment funds, go unutilized. Maybe because of the cumbersome process of buying a thing centrally, you need to have a good specs and then you have to have this thing and that thing, and 3-4 bidders would come and like that. And GEM has added a convenience to this buying of goods for this thing. But there is a problem with GEM that people of non-credentials, they have listed themselves and they're not able to supply. Simple internet switches, which we have ordered 2 years back, have not been supplied. They are Cisco switches and they have not been supplied. Just because they quote that the external reasons of international conflicts in Taiwan or Ukraine may be the reason, or that far. So my thing is that public participation, corporate, one more success story I want to just mention. I'll take just 1 more minute. Madhya Pradesh wanted to have a system of POS machines, point of sale machines, to generate traffic challan on the spot and collect it through POS machines, and also generate virtual challan. So we went to the government that so much will be spended in each district. We needed around 1,200 and so on and so forth. We went to the banks. When the banks process these challans, they get some amount as a commission. We went to the banks. The banks readily agreed. Now, when we wanted 600 machines, we are having 6,000 machines for our policemen. So, so the corporates are very eagerly wanting to. There are very, very costlier machines whose cost is in crores, but the corporate want to do it, the trial for us on no cost, no commitment basis. So once a good study or good outcome is available, sir, so the government is also on the board and it want to, Homeland security is going on in a big way, and it is up to us to how to take it further. Funds will not be a problem, sir.
So what you're mentioning is a win-win situation for both.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Yeah, that's nice. So we have Mr. Ramakrishna waiting. So may I invite you, sir? Mr. C.A. Ramakrishna. He's again switched off his camera audio. Mr. Ramakrishna. Yeah.
Sir, our initially he has been engaged with some other duties. That's why I am just attending this meeting. I have shared this information to my HOD, Dr. Sankarbat Bachi. He has engaged with the vigilance office, some other duty. That's why I am attending this and noting the points.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much. So on the question of funds, if I take this to Dr. Palika Arora, who has been handling a jail administration and converted into a model. So what are your views about it?
Sir, my views are also as referred before, fund not any issue, especially with respect to the equipments and other things are concerned. So I, while handling this project or this department, has never faced any issue with respect to the funds, provided we are able to convince the government that whatever we intend to do is for the benefit of the the strata for whom we want to start the project. So for the funds part of view, I have never faced any shortage. And moreover, we are having an outlet at Sector 22. That's in Nafs region. It's a commercial outlet for the products which are made by the inmates. So whatever project we launch within the jail premises, ultimately they are the products which are being made are being commercially sold at the outlet. So in turn, it enhances the sale of the department as well. So it's a win-win situation for both, that whatever the earnings we are able to make, again, it is going for the welfare of the prisoners, for the welfare of the inmates. So for me, I think it was never a hurdle, or I can say I never faced any.
You are in a sweet spot. You're looking at one spoke in the entire wheel. So you are definitely, I would say, would feel comfortable because and it's a matter of satisfaction as well, because the implementation, which is what you're carrying out in the jail, looking at different aspects, have to do more with the the human development, capacity building, and then giving them linkages with the market, so that, as I said in the earlier as well, so leading a life of dignity. So to that extent, good job. So, and if I may ask the same question, which is at the state level, to Dr. Loganathan from Greater Chennai.
Yeah. So I also agree with the earlier speakers that in Chennai Police, we got a safe city project. It's being operated with the fund of 256 crores. And also the mega city policing projects, which is being operated with the 98 crores. And moreover, now during the last state budget session, we got around 14 projects at the cost of around 30 to 35 crores. So fund is not going to be a problem if it is being projected in a correct way, that these are all the requirement for the service delivery of the police to the public. So it is taken in the right speed and it's being given. And similarly, there are certain projects which are being done through a sponsorship, as Mr. Sir, when our ADGP Sir told, Mageshwar Agarwal Sir said. So CCTV cameras are being installed through the sponsorship, and also all the patrol vehicles like beacon lights and other things, what are the minor projects like that also being done through the sponsors. They're readily available, and they through their CSR funds they are funding also. So both these funds can go hand by hand to meet the objectives that the homeland security can be strengthened. That's what my opinion is.
Okay, thank you. How do we build a risk-resilient infrastructure and prepare a whole new community response to disasters? Because these are new things, which is what we are experiencing. This is beyond technology. It is more to do with the organization, with the motivation and preparedness for disasters. It's slightly different from the regular policing, which is what we're talking about. Dr. Loganathan, let me start with you only.
Yeah. So disaster management really, because many volunteers and NGOs are really available, and definitely if we have a tie-up with them, definitely it can be, it can do wonders. For example, I can say like in Chennai Police, the Kaval Karangal is the one which is giving, they're rescuing these abandoned people, who just started during the period of Mr. Mageshwar Agarwal Sir when he was in COP. It's just rescuing these people who are roaming on the streets. So after that, it has been properly, this SOP has been developed and proper process has been developed, and around 40 non-governmental organizations, there are around 120 volunteers are there. They are really helping us because they are only running the show. We are just acting as a catalyst. They are integrating all the stakeholders, and we are providing a platform in which all are integrated. And so far, we rescued around 3,000 plus people, and we also rescued from, those who have North Indian origins. Those who rescued in Chennai, they were sent to Bharatpur in Rajasthan, around 3,300 plus people, because ultimately with the aim of uniting them with the family members. So really the involvement of NGOs and volunteers at kind of disasters, it's a real readily available sources. And if they are trained properly and how it can be done, it would be very effectively utilized for our immediate response for any kind of disasters.
Mr. Agarwal, if I bring this question to you, to building a risk-resilient infrastructure, of course, capacity building, what Dr. Loganathan is talking about, is very important. But capacity building will not happen in a day. And also the the motivation of the police force in preparing itself for not only the force response, but also community response to disasters. So how to assimilate these two things, and how is it that can be done, and what would be the challenges?
As you rightly pointed out, this is a new challenge for any police force. Like, it is different from the traditional duties of the policing, of maintaining law and order, preventing crime, regulating traffic. So handling disasters is a new kind of challenge. And of late, we have been witnessing various types of disasters, including floods, cyclones. And if I may say so, COVID was a big challenge where police played a very, very major role in various aspects of controlling COVID, providing services to the public. In fact, I will say that handling COVID has taught police forces across the country many new things as to participation and their role in disaster management. It has brought police closer to the public. The image of police during the COVID time has gone many notches high. And that has also given a kind of taste to the police that how they can serve the public and improve the image of police. So now, actually in Tamil Nadu, disaster response is a part of the training, basic training. Whenever we conduct training, either at the level of constables or sub-inspectors or DYSPs, after the recruitment, disaster response is one of the important aspects of the training. So it has been like inbuilt in the training program. That is a very good thing. So that literally the entire police force should be trained. They should consider that this is one of their duties. This is one of the challenges which they are going to face. This is nothing external. It is not that they are overloaded. They are prepared for it. They should be ready for it. And they are trained for this. That is one thing. And I think other state police forces also must be implementing similar training programs. Second is, as we all know, that any disaster, it is like the proportions are generally very high. So police alone may not be able to help. And sometimes it may be difficult even for police to move from one place to another. So that time channelizing the local resources is very, very important. So what is being done is to train the volunteers. Like especially in Tamil Nadu has a big coastline. So in the coastal villages, we have trained the fishermen. They are the best people who can help in rescue operations because they live a very tough life. They are ready to come forward and give their helping hand. So like it has been very helpful in handling cyclones and other situations in Tamil Nadu. So as you rightly said, we have to build more and more infrastructure. Tamil Nadu has a dedicated Tamil Nadu Disaster Response Force. And I am happy to share with you that the equipment available with TNDRF is at par with NDRF. That is our National Disaster Response Force. So all the states need to have such equipment, such training, and also community participation to meet the challenges of disasters. Thank you.
In fact, this brings me to another point. Like the way, now this is again totally out of the box thinking, like the way the government of India introduced this Agnipath scheme, Agniveer. And, that is again targeted at meeting the short-term objectives and also bringing in an element of discipline in the younger generation if they go through that process. I'm sure, next 10, 15, 20, 30 years, it will have a rather deeper impact, which is exactly the ethos of the scheme. Why not in police force as well? You go in for the temporary recruitment because you anyway have such a huge shortage and you're not able to even meet up with the salary bill of the existing because you need more funds. So those are the things and possibly, that can come in handy. Second is, we used to have this concept of civil defense, which is what we have done away with. So that was the involvement of the community into the system and bring in an element of, build trust between the two, the police and the citizen, and also involvement of citizen in the governance. So what are your views on that?
See, I will tell you, like as you mentioned, we are already having a concept of home guards who are not on the regular payrolls of the police department, but they are enlisted in the police as home guards. And during the major bandobast, major festivals, major requirements, even during elections, home guards are being utilized by the police department on need basis. That is one thing. Another, we are also channelizing the energy of NCC and NSS cadet and volunteers. Even in our DAD program, Drive Against Drug, which we have projected for the SKOCH Award, we are channelizing the NSS volunteers. In Tamil Nadu, we have a police force of about 1.25 lakh. and we have about 4 lakh NSS volunteers. So the task of creating awareness amongst the youth against drug abuse, we have entrusted it to the NSS volunteers. So various programs of this nature are already on the anvil. Again, like Government of India has started a scheme on the lines of NCC, that is SPC, Student Police Cadets. So these student police cadets, they are being provided with a uniform, they are being provided with the training, and also they are being asked to contribute towards this policing requirements to create more awareness in the society. So few such initiatives are already on the way. Similarly, for the disaster response also, Government of India has started a scheme of Apda Mitra. So these are the volunteers which are trained, their lists are ready with the police department, and in case of any disaster, they can be requested to give their services. So what you have proposed already in some way, like in the way of home guards, student police cadets, Apda Mitras, NSS cadets, and our NSS and NCC cadet and volunteers, we are channelizing those forces, those energies, so that in case of more heavy requirement, in case of disasters, we can use all of them and serve the society.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Dr. Loganathan?
Yeah, as Sir said, Sir is almost told everything related to Tamil Nadu. I just agree with what Sir said, and no more points there.
So in fact, complementing your answer, going a step back when we talked about, infusion of technology and the, we also mentioned about 3 emerging new challenges that we are facing, which is cyber, women's safety, and police force welfare. Talking about cyber, in everything there is now worldwide rankings as to where does India stand vis-a-vis EODB, vis-a-vis Global Cybersecurity Index. So India was at number 23 in 17. It slid to 47 in 2018. And the target was to make it to top 10, which we have not been able to make till the end of 2021. So only recently, just about when at the turn of 21 and then 22, we were closer to the top 10 list. So having taken this long, we must have faced a number of challenges. Again, coming back to the resilience, we have been at least 2 to 3 years behind, meeting our regular challenge. Moving forward, we need to move even faster. So the residual challenges which are there, how do we cope up with those? And how fast? Go back to Mr. Agarwal. Mr. Agarwal.
Yeah, I think cyber crime, cyber security has become a major issue. Maybe the growth of cyberspace is it was not expected that it will grow so much. And especially, again, I will mention that during the times of COVID, when we started working from home and most of the transactions were online. So there has been tremendous growth in cyberspace, and it has also led to the growth of social media. That is another issue. And it has also led to cyber crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Cyber crimes, actually, there are various issues. One is the geographical boundaries. A cyber crime, like a financial fraud, the person is robbed of his money in India, and the accused may be somewhere in another continent, maybe you can say Africa, and the servers are in some third country. And the cooperation which we have, the system of MLAT, which we have to get cooperation from other law enforcement agencies, from other countries, it is such slow system and such a lengthy system that definitely it is a big challenge to handle the cyber crimes which have international connections. And even within the country, most of the crimes, like it is very difficult, especially we hit a dead end when suppose it's a bank fraud. When we reach up to the bank, we try to find the address given is false. We try to connect through the mobile phone. The documents which are provided to the mobile company are fake. And these are the big challenges which are for any law enforcement agency. So basically, we need to change our systems. We need to, we are lagging behind. It's a fact. And we need to train our policemen. We need to create more awareness amongst the public to prevent cyber frauds. And we also need greater cooperation from the service providers, from the intermediaries, and also we need to enhance cooperation amongst the states within India, and also international cooperation if we have to meet the challenges of cybercrime.
I agree with you. Dr. Loganathan, would you like to add to this before we wind up?
Yes. So as Sir said, cyber crime has no boundaries, because we are restricted by boundaries, but they have no boundaries. So due to which the non-cooperation, also like the routine traditional crimes where we can get some recovery of property, thereby some kind of justice to be done to the victims. But in this case, it's all being done within minutes, within the seconds, that once money get transferred, they withdraw, then ultimately retrieving of recovery of property is very difficult. So in Chennai city alone, on an average, 12,835 complaints are received in a year. That means the magnitude of cyber crime that is coming up is huge. So as said, that we have many challenges, like developing our police personnel to these kind of skills to investigate the cyber crimes need to be improved a lot. And also to meet out these challenges, and Chennai police have almost we have around 5 cybercrime police stations in Chennai city to take care of all these complaints. Each zone has one, and city crime branch have one cyber police station. That 5 cybercrime police stations, police stations are there. And we also established a cyber forensic lab under Safe City projects at the cost of around 6 crores. It has audio video forensic sections and call data record section, and disk imaging and analysis, and mobile forensic section, and social media sections had to take care of offenses which is being committed, like impersonation and malified intention of putting messages, all those things. So definitely it's a challenge, and but we should be equipped to deal with that and give justice to the victims. Thank you.
Oh, that's a good suggestion. In fact, it's a very interesting topic, and we can have a discussion on this. And in the interest of time, we probably will have to wind up the discussion. And to summarize what our panelists are finding about, that of course, there is the reforms is not only an external, but is also an internal process. So internalizing by each and every state police force, since it happens to be a state subject, is extremely important. We probably need to build, even as as several committees, even in the Ministry of Home Affairs, have recommended, that there need to be a cadre, probably of women police, just probably on the lines as 33% mandated for Panchayati Raj institutions, even in police force, which probably is at less than 10% today. And that will give a big fillip to the confidence of the people, because, a big reason for the distrust of people in police was the police lacking soft skills, which to a great extent have been taken care of. Action has become very, very cordial. So people have started trusting it. It used to be very frustrating and time consuming, which probably is not the case any longer. And it used to be a costly affair in several different occasions. So, the pendency has gone down. The interaction of citizen with the police force has improved. They're more welcome. Even the majority of police stations have spruced up the infrastructure, so they welcome people rather than deter. So a whole lot of things which have happened have improved the image of the Homeland Security system, increasing the confidence. So what probably needs to be done moving further is not only the reskilling, but probably retraining that takes place already needs to be speeded up, because things are changing faster than expected. The new technologies are coming in, and all our police stations today are computerized. And more importantly, to reach out for CSR funds, which could be a very novel way of having another example of the public-private partnership, helping the police forces to contributing to improve the infrastructure and several other things, so that the service comes back to people. And more importantly, what the panel was talking about, the gentleman mentioned about we have ICJs, which is going to be the motherhood of all the databases, which is what was probably envisaged many years ago in the form of a NAT grid. So this is going to be superimposed as the system, and going to be speeding up the criminal justice system. And fingerprint information system, which has already been introduced in Madhya Pradesh, which was mentioned. Probably initiatives like these will go a long way in helping to improve the delivery of services, delivery of justice, delivery of or settlement of cases, or in whichever way, reducing dependency. So, gentlemen, lady, we are only one lady here, Dr. Palika Arora. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahesh Kumar Agarwal, Mr. Chanchal Shekhar, Mr. Ramakrishna, and Dr. Loganathan for joining us. Thank you very much for spending time with us.